Yeah, I can see your point. Yeah, I could do this. Yeah, I could do that. No, stick to your guns. Stick to the cup that God gave you. Hi, my name's Dee and welcome to Sunchild Tarot. Now, this is a general reading for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, whatever area of your chart you're wanting to examine. And if you're not familiar with your own birth chart, there is a link down in the description of how you can get a free one for yourself. Now, this is as a general reading rules apply. Roles can be reversed. Timing is not absolute. So I can be talking about somebody else and I'm actually meaning you and vice versa. Timing, it'll hit when it hits. But it doesn't mean that'll hit everybody. This reading either is for you or it isn't. There is a past and a present in this spread. Now, if the past and the present fit, the reading's for you. If the past and the present don't fit at the moment, then the reading's not for you. Have a look at one of your other placements. Have a look at some of the other readers on YouTube because there's some great talent on here. Now, what I would like you to do is ask a question before this reading. So take a moment, think about all the questions that surround you, focus on one of them, but be aware of all of them because the cards will answer whatever they please and not necessarily what you and I think. But the focus is like an energy exchange. You focus in and hopefully I give you the energy back out with the reading. That's the plan. So, as for the housekeeping, there's a link to a Facebook group down below. Come join. You can contact me directly through there because, well, Facebook page, sorry. You can contact me directly through there because there is an inbox on it. So if you want a personal reading, get in touch. In the meantime, please like the video or subscribe to the channel if you would be so kind. A like helps the video get seen. As Namaste Today says, it helps with the Google politics. The subscription helps the channel. I'm just past my 6-month birthday. No, I'm just approaching my 6-month birthday, sorry. So I'm still a young channel. I'm still just a babe in arms. So every subscriber helps. Right. So I think that's everything. Yeah, that's all I can think of. So let me crack on and bring the cards up for you. Now, Pisces. I think you're feeling inspired but poor at the moment. We have as your central card the Five of Pentacles, which is indicative of guidance and assistance being given to you, but at the very same time it's indicative of poverty and being in need of that assistance. We have the Four of Cups in how you are feeling, clarified by the Queen of Cups and the Hierophant. You feel like there is a job for you to do. There is a job for you to crack on with. I think you maybe feel that it doesn't matter whether it's you doing it or not. It's a job that needs to be done. And your identity should maybe try and remain removed from it, even though it is quite a spiritual purpose that you are aiming for, because after all, this is an idea, a plan that has been given to you by spirit. You are feeling guided. You are feeling like you're bored with what's around you and you're looking for the new thing, and the new thing has manifested itself mentally, etherically, astrally, whatever for you, and you're hoping to bring that into the real world. But you've just moved onto a new shore, whatever that means, job-wise, belief-wise, relationship-wise, geographically, but I don't think many people are moving house at the moment anywhere in the world. And you were fulfilled with, oh, this is nice, we've got the Six of Swords, and this is the time that you're coming out of. So we've had that shifting, that movement, and that movement has come through a sense of a whole new dream or a whole new love, a whole new passion coming to you. And that's clarified by the Two of Cups. So it's a passion that's growing. It may well have that relationship aspect to it, or it has an aspect where it's unifying two aspects of your life that previously you might have struggled with. But there is an immense amount of emotion coming with this, and I think that's why you're feeling a little bit impoverished, because how do I deal with all this emotion that's coming with it? But you are receiving guidance. You have gained some form of freedom. This is what because 5, it's a number of challenge, it's also a number of freedom. Or I should say, as the Gregory brothers do, freedom. So there is... 5 is a very special number to me anyway. So when I found out people see it as a number of disaster and a number of bad luck or challenge, I was like, that's not right. 5 is the number of humanity, according to the Emerald Tablets. Queen Cup will talk about the 5-fold nature of man: the masculine, the feminine, inner child, inner angel, inner shadow. 5. So you are exploring every aspect of yourself at the moment, I think is a good one. But there is a wonderful guiding light that is showing you how to manifest what it is that you're wanting to manifest, as long as you are moving forward, which I do feel that you are moving forward. But underlying this, there's a lot of change going on. The 8 of Swords. Now, I always love to put a positive swing on the 8 of Swords, because it's one of my favourite cards with its alternate meanings. It is the tarot card attributed to Beleth. But we have here the 8 of Swords, the Tower, and the Emperor. You're nervous about exercising your power. You're worried about what you will break by exercising your power. Your power has taken a knock anyway with this new freedom and this new shore that you're on. And this 8 of Swords basically does feel a bit like anxiety and worrying and generally trapping yourself. I say that because it is clarified by the Tower, and then the Emperor, that stubbornness. This Emperor, it's a Minotaur, and it's particularly stubborn as a bull. But that Emperor, there's a forest fire, a bushfire approaching him, and he's not moving because he's not scared. The Tower, everything is falling around this mage's, everything's just falling down around the mage, let's put it that way. But he holds in his hands a skull of wisdom, and he is using this chaos, or rather freeing up of things, to his own advantage. And these 8 swords are beaming information down to you. So maybe if you are feeling anxious, good reason at the moment, I suppose, but don't give in to it. You may be feeling anxious because you are being held back just before all the other things come into place. But there is an element of you worrying about nothing. Yeah, this is a whole new thing, but crack on with your whole new thing. Get on with it already. Because you are going to receive recognition and forward movement with this. It is going to offer you a new beginning. There are several options for you to move forward. Beware of any of the options that you haven't already decided on. Yes, those new options come up. This particular 7 of Cups, I'm not seeing the fact that the cups have been delivered from on high. I'm seeing the fact that the cups are hovering above a swamp like a will-o'-the-wisp to, drag you under. You'll notice that turtle there is not, or tortoise? No, turtle, is not going anywhere near the swamp and is not going anywhere near the options. He's looking at them and just going, and so I'm immediately reminded of, is it the great Atuin out of Stephen King's It, the turtle upon which rests the whole of the multiverse, which I'm sure relates to a Hindu model of cosmology, but I don't know enough about Hindu cosmology to actually say that for definite. For all I know, I've got it mixed up with Ringworld. So be aware that the options that are presented to you, you need to stick to your own path, doing your own thing. You already know what it is you're doing. So these options are a danger from that Eight of Swords, because your anxiety could cause you to listen to all these other options, and you go, yeah, well, maybe. Yeah, I can see your point. Yeah, I could do this. Yeah, I could do that. No, stick to your guns. Stick to the cup that God gave you. You know, you felt guided with this already. Ace of Cups, Two of Cups. You are being supported in what it is that you are moving forward, and you are manifesting what you need to move forward. So stick at it. Whatever you do, stick at it. Do not be persuaded by all these will-o'-the-wisp type different options that have come up to try and drag you under, because your ships will come in on this, and there will, yeah, it's going to be a scary time. Nine of Swords. You are going to get to confront your fears, but they are fears that you can choose to remain immune to. You can say, no, okay, I recognize that you are their fears. Anyway, I'm going this way. And that's not to avoid those fears. That's to say, you have no power over you. Because with this Seven of Cups and the Eight of Swords here, the fears are pulling you to them. And you need to use this Two of Swords to just walk away from them. I reject you. So it's not even that you have to resolve them, because you're a Pisces. You're quite used to looking at your fears and going, you know. So, speaking as a Pisces, you know, you're quite well aware of their shape and colour and texture. But you can just go, no, you have no power over me in this situation. I am the one who decides when you get to speak, not you. If I want to give you an airing, I will. But in the meantime, I've got business to do. I've got reason to celebrate. I've got choices and commitments to make. We have Three of Cups, celebration. The Lovers, which is very much a choice to be lifted out in this tarot apocalypse. It's the Lovers can frequently represent a choice, but in this one, it's a choice to be lifted out of the situation that you are in, which is what this cup is all about. It's about aligning you with a spiritual purpose and giving you the dream. And I'm not telling you anything you don't know. You know, these are the cards of how you feel. Four of Cups, Queen of Cups, Hierophant. You're aware that you've been given this spiritual purpose. You are aware that it's a fully fleshed dream. You are aware that it is the right thing for you to do. So make the choice, get your sen lifted out of this morass, reject those fears, and yes, by ignoring them. It's like some of the things that have come up with the Chiron Black Moon Lilith conjunction, it's not, and the Pluto being as active as it has been recently, it's bringing these things up to the surface so you can acknowledge them. Bear in mind, they're not... People will talk about the duality between love and fear and love must win. No, we live in a realm of duality, and what we require is balance. You need to be able to accept and embrace your shadow side, not blast it out of existence, because it has a purpose, it serves a function. But right now, that function of those fears coming up is going, no, excuse me, other bits of my shadow side can speak now, not you. You hog too much time already. Because, taking that attitude, we have, like I say, the Lovers, and then clarified further by the Sun, the happy, happy, joy, joy card. So yes, reject those fears. If there's some bits of the fears where you just go, haven't noticed that bit before, fine, study it and then move on. It is a brief thing, but do not allow the fears to tempt you to go off the path that you have already decided on right now with this Ace of Wands that's here. Because you are well aware of all of your faults and your mistakes and the things that you've done wrong and the things that you've done bad. You're well aware of them. Now's the time to put them to one side, because your identity in what you are doing is nowhere near as important as what you would like it to be, in a way. Notice the Hierophant here is completely faceless. Your identity is irrelevant. Therefore, where you've been bad, what you've done wrong, the injustices that are probably a lot bigger in your head than anybody else's that have occurred, that you have performed, are irrelevant to what you're doing right now. Yeah, the fear will pop its head up. One, because, you need to know what your fears are. You need to, maybe resolve one or two of them when you've got the time. That's not right now. Right now is whatever the fear is, put it to one side and walk straight past it, because you've got more important things to do. And you may end up looking back later and go, oh, see all them fears I had there? I've managed to resolve all of them without even noticing. And other parts of those fears are still going to be there, because they're there to teach you something. They're there to teach you a lesson about something. But now's not the time. Now is the time to reach for transformation, to reach for lightning strikes. Things will move fast, but things will move fast in a positive way. We have the Lovers clarified by the Sun. Well, we have the Three of Cups clarified by the Lovers, clarified by the Sun. Celebration, good friends standing with you. So let's have a look. In your friendship pile, we have the Sun yet again. So you have good people around you who are going to support you in tending your harvest, and they are going to be nurturing you as much as you nurture them. And they will be bringing out, sometimes kicking and screaming, but they will be bringing out the nurturing aspect with you. And you fear that this will be a slow process, but of course it will be a slow process, but it will be more than worth it. You will see things grow, and you will have happiness through this, and the happiness is through the success, not through the listening to the fears and choosing the other options. It is a matter of balance, but the time to act is right now. So yes, of course there's conflict coming, because this path that you've set yourself on, there's going to be conflict let me just not knock the table. There's going to be conflict somewhere along the line, one way or another. Five of Wands here, but Five of Wands with the Two of Swords. Where was that other Two of Swords? Actually, where was that other Two of Swords? I've no idea. No idea where it was. So the final outcome is offering you a transformation. That's why Two of Swords was here, wasn't it? Because if you are sticking to choosing to be blind to certain things as and when required, and I'm not meaning about in other people, I am meaning in yourself, like where you feel that you've been horrible, whatever that means, you can step to one side of that for the time being, because what you're doing now is supposedly making up for all of that, but that's not why you're doing it. You're doing it because it's the right thing to do. But I think at the end of it, you will look back and the scales will be fairly balanced. But the discussion and the I say mental conflict, but it's not. It is arguing and discussing and debating this. I want to say more debating, because these, in this Five of Wands, these all feel like they're comrades. They're not larking about. They are being serious, but it's when they have finished, they're sparring. That's the phrase I want. Because when they are finished, they all put their wands down and they go together to get a drink or eat together or what have you. They, some little rivalries that come up may exhibit themselves. What's the phrase? I don't want to say on the boxing ring, because it's not a boxing ring, but they may exhibit themselves on the field of play, but they are all bigger than their differences, and they are all more loving than their differences, so yeah, maybe there is a challenge that's coming up to you, possibly from a friend, but they are still supporting you in whatever this new path forward is. Right. Because, oh, now, Paymon. I did look him up because I couldn't figure out why. Let's have a look. What was it? Yes. Paymon here, the divination out of this Damon Tarot, which isn't a tarot deck at all, but is a really good Les Cartes Infernales, I always call it, because that's exactly what they say on the back, because it's from Le Dictionnaire Infernal, all the illustrations out of that. A beautiful piece of, beautiful set of cards. Beware of unfavourable first impressions. Now, this goes in both directions, all right? So beware of making unfavourable first impressions, but also if someone that you meet, there's an unfavourable first impression that you take of them, yeah, give them a bit of latitude. Many intelligent and knowledgeable individuals are awkward or abrasive at first as a defence mechanism. One should watch for those actions within oneself. Now, of course, being a Pisces, I have no idea what that's talking about. But interestingly, we have Poel with fame and fortune, or Gremory with self-made person. This is really showing, I think Gremory is the more important here, because the fame and fortune aspect is irrelevant, because your personality, or you being you rather than what you are doing, is irrelevant. But nevertheless, I think that may bring you under the spotlight, but be kind to yourself, because I think you're going to find that other people are going to be a lot kinder to you than what you would be. You know, let's put it that way, with Poel and fame and fortune. So maybe there is some form of public-facing role. Right, let's have a look at some of the past here, because I've waffled all about the present and into the future. Right, so you've had a fertile time, an abundant time before, where things were going really well, but you were forced to be more than a little defensive over it, and you found it quite exhausting that you ended up cutting something out. And strategically, you just went, no, I'm taking my toys and going home. Now, that was the right thing to do at the time with this Justice card here. You were balancing some other scales then, not the scales that you are balancing now. There is an element of you were put through training last time, ready for whatever this is at the moment. And yes, you were left to your own devices for a long time. You was like, well, what was the point of that? I've taken my toys and gone home, and now what do I do? And you put them in a chest and you walk away, and 20 years later you suddenly think, ooh, my toys. Because I think that it has been what has been going on for you with this recent... You've been nurturing and laying plans. You've been coming into your own power recently, trying to cement something into the real world, but partly there's been an illusion and partly there's been magic. Magic has started bringing a dream back together for you. Magic has started uplifting something for you, which meant you are suddenly thrust into a world within your peers. But you have made a commitment to this, and that world has made a commitment to you, which is what I'm seeing here with this Ace of Cups, Two of Cups, which is also showing a growing strength of that dream. But we've got Ace of Cups here, relating back down to the Ace of Cups down here, underlying this issue. We have you coming into a room with your peers, feeling maybe a little defensive, maybe a little bit of, oh, I'm not sure about this, but you are making a commitment to do this, and this has been clarified by the sun. So this is the right path for you. You have felt good about this, and you will feel good about it. Again, you are... Okay, imagine Bilbo Baggins as he sets off on the first adventure in The Hobbit, and yay, this is fantastic. And then they encounter the orcs and the goblins and well, let's just stick with orcs and goblins because that's about all I can remember right now. So all of a sudden, it's not so much fun, is it? But afterwards, after he's been faced smog and come back again, he's really pleased and he has that same feeling as he did when he set off. You've had that same feeling, and that same feeling is coming back, and it's not that far away. But you've got to test the strength of that, and that's why the fears are coming back. Just stick to your guns and make sure that any options that are presented to you from other people don't alter that mission that you've given yourself or that God has given you. All right? Because they are will-o'-the-wisp options. To quote Admiral Akbar, it's a trap. You know, as is giving into your own fears. But giving into your own fears is you succumbing to one of these options because someone coming to you, well, you know, it would be more expected or more accepted if you did it this way because this is what people want. No, you do it your way. Right. Communication is key, which indicates, again, what I was saying with Paimon, but also with Gremory and Poel, you just have to be, yes, you are creating a whole new persona, really, to do this work, but remember that persona is not important. It is what you are doing that is important. Don't be too strict with yourself and don't be too strict with others. Be wary of punishments that are too strict, sacrifices that are too great. You won't need to make them. They are a thing of the past here. When I say sacrifices that are too great, that links directly into this Seven of Cups cards. And people expect you to, well, who gives a flying hoot? You thought I was going to be naughty there, didn't you? Who gives a hoot what people expect? You are doing you, and that's the main thing here. Finally, we have the Archangel Raphael. Oh, Leo Moon with trust. I think, really, you know, trust the path, trust the task, trust yourself. That one. An Archangel Raphael, who's very much about home and family, remember, and healing. I am strengthened and healed by the power of divine love. So when you're doubting, or when your fears are shouting and you're not able to just go, you lot, shush. I don't know why I'm putting them over in that corner of the room, but that's where they are. Then maybe ask Raphael for some help. Because, hey, he's an archangel. He can be everywhere at once, several times. You know, so that's how they work. It's not exactly Michael's column of fire and protection. It's Raphael's love and caring that is the useful thing here. Because Michael's column of fire and protection can get rid of other entities, but it can't get rid of your own fears. It may get rid of entities that stick to your fears, but you can't get rid of your own fears. But Raphael showing you a few tips on, have you thought about loving yourself this way? Or have you thought about this sort of fact, which means all those criticisms you have of yourself are a bit null and void? Raphael's a useful one for that one. So, yeah, stick to your guns, Pisces. It's going through a bit of a rough time at the moment, but you're going to be fine. Cheers.